Good morning, everyone. Nice to see some familiar faces and some new ones here. I'm going to basically take us through a bit of a broader overview. I think we got a really good in-depth look at how these tools are being used in a really important use case, but I want to give you a framework to kind of think about this more broadly and how we can actually address it. So the first thing is making sense of the uplift that AI gives you. And at the Turing, we think about this a couple different ways, but this is the most relevant. It's essentially increasing the speed, the scale, and the sophistication of everything that terrorists and violent extremists used to be doing. So this is, an entire media office that Daesh would have run in Mosul is now, possibly done by one or two people. It's empowering small cells to, increase their output and their speed so they can jump on news cycles and actually, reach more people. I won't say more about that because most people in this room are already familiar with all the terrible things that terrorists do. The last one there is what I want to focus on today, which is the new capabilities or the actual uplift that it provides. These are what I think we worry about most. So on this page, give some very quick examples, and then I'll show you some examples of what this looks like. So in the new capabilities, one of the most worrying things that we see right now is the rise and use of deepfake audio by far-right groups as well as other political actors. The best example of this actually happened not too far from here when the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was deepfaked by a far-right group, essentially saying that he'd canceled a Remembrance Day celebration in favor of another movement. Of course, he did not. This was a completely fake deepfake audio, but it brought hundreds of people out onto the street, led to 120 arrests, 9 police officers injured, 2 of them hospitalized. So this is where we see the deepfake use by these far-right groups is not just theoretical, it actually is resulting in real-world violence, in this case, literally in the street. There's 2 more that I'm going to go in depth on here, but data poisoning is also a huge issue that we're working on right now, and I'll say a bit more in the solutions part of this talk. So this is from a recent investigation I did with Effie Webb from the Bureau of Investigative Journalism. She's tracking down an entirely fake AI rapper who's got 2.7 million views across Spotify, YouTube, all the platforms, which is important for us to look at because I think there was a long time, kind of understanding that this AI music, like other forms, it's kind of slop, it's not that effective, nobody's going to listen to that. I think what we've seen now is both commercially and politically, it's being adopted, at quite significant numbers, and people are clearly engaging with it. I'm not saying it's, as good as Fred again, but it's decent. So the other part of it is that using music can reach a much wider audience than they ever could before, which is critical to widening the tent. We also see, very sort of disturbing AI-generated music videos that go along with it, like Kanye West's Hitler video. And downstream, is really the risk of these smaller AI companies that are making these tools, but then, resulting in the problems. This is another issue we're seeing around influence bots and the challenges that they present. It's essentially, a very powerful way to reach millions of people every day and every week. And right here we have a pro-mega bot that is being put out. We also have one that was an anti-Zoran Mamdani bot last summer. In this case, it's done by a company, but we are also seeing the risk of this by extremist actors, not designated actors, but those which are in the ecosystem. All right, last slide is technical solutions and opportunities, which is actually the most important. I'm going to go through one of the technical ones here, and then the others I'll discuss in the Q&A. The most important one, the one that I talk the most about, is the behavioral signal sharing. This is something that we badly need because we see users hopping from one platform to another, to another, to another. And even with behavioral signal sharing, it's not going to be perfect, but we could really use some work there. And there's examples that we can draw on. So Tech Coalition has something called Lantern. GIFCT is working on something called Compass, which I can talk about more later. So there's a lot of potential there. The very last part of it is actually all about you guys and the community that studies this, works on this, practitioners, you name it. I think anybody who's known me has probably heard me rail on this for the last 2 years, but there is this massive divide that remains between the AI safety field, the kind of people I work with at Turing or the AC folks, the effective altruism folks, and then all of us, right? In the CT space, the countering violent extremism space, or even the trust and safety space is oftentimes almost treated as a different field. We have different methodologies, different taxonomies. We also approach the issue differently. You know, I mean, the existential risk side of it, the AI safety side, that is much more interested in capabilities, whereas we often look at it from an actor-specific approach. They're much more interested in the actor-agnostic approach. So I'm going to wrap up there, but there's a lot more in the discussion that I think we will talk about. I'm just going to leave you with our report here, which goes into a lot more recommendations, and I'd encourage you all to check it out. Thank you.